joining me again. I hope you're having a beautiful day on the other side of the screen. With that said, let's dive straight into it. Now, it doesn't matter who you are, a student, a professor, an entrepreneur, a kid, anybody. This video is going to be for you. If you want any type of success in life, you need to watch the rest of this video. So, with that said, let's dive straight into it. The first step to creating monk-like focus is identifying your target, identifying your goal, and connecting your why to that goal. Now, the reason why the why is so important is because your why is what's driving you to achieve that goal. So if you can remember your why, then, for the majority of the time, you'll have the motivation as long as your why is big enough, right? So there's two things that you can do in order, to keep that in the back of your mind. And one of them is going to be creating a vision board. So vision board is basically connecting images to the goal that you want to achieve. So what I like to do is, and that's something that I actually used to do like in my morning routine, is I would look over just a couple of images that kind of portray the type of life that I want, or the type of person that I want to be like. And when you can, connect the image to your goal, it sparks your imagination, and that's going to spark action. So that's one thing you can do as well. And another way to spark your imagination is by visualizing. Visualization is one of the most undermined things in terms of success, because it's like such an easy thing to do, and all it is just visualizing yourself, taking certain actions that allow you to achieve your goal. So for example, if you wanted to go skydiving, no, that's a horrible example. If you wanted to learn how to drive a car, right? If you have ever been in a car one time at least, then you will understand how everything works. And if you're studying because you want to learn how to drive a car, then you'll really understand how things work. So now you can actually visualize yourself in the car and operating it properly. The more you do that, it's like actually getting real practice in, real repetitions in, and repetitions make you better. So the reason that correlates to your why is because the more you visualize you taking these actions and succeeding, the more motivation you'll have, the more anticipation you'll have to take action. So that's a really, really good thing. Okay, so the next thing is cutting out all of your distractions. Now, before I even give you this tip, I want to bring up the fact that life operates in seasons. Now, of course, Isaiah, there's fall, there's winter, there's summer, there's spring. Yeah, but in terms of your personal life, you operate in seasons as well. Meaning, certain times throughout the year, you're more focused. Certain times throughout the year, you're working harder. Certain times throughout the year, you're more relaxed. And certain times throughout the year, you're more like balanced. And what I like to think is that fall is a season of focus. Fall is a season where you would cut out all of your distractions. And the reason why cutting out distractions is so important is because when you cut out all of your distractions, focus will naturally come. Because you cut out all your distractions, you only, have that one focal point, which is your goal. So cutting out your distractions just depends on you personally and whatever your goal is. For me, it could be, going out less throughout the month. So I can't go out on the weekends as much with my friends or go out with a girl. I can't do that every weekend. I have to stop doing it. So that's going to be one thing, I'll need to do in order to, help me maybe read a book for my marketing agency, so I'll be able to understand the skill sets to develop in my industry. So just different things like that. Like if you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So that's why it's important to cut out those distractions and say no to all the things that are distractions compared to your goals, so that you can actually say yes and achieve your goal. So that would be a great example of cutting out your distractions, not going out on the weekends. Okay, so the next thing is, accepting that you won't always be passionate when you're focused. Like when you're trying to focus in your life, when you're trying to achieve this thing, when you're working towards these goals, understand and accept that you won't always be passionate, about that thing that you want to do. Like, of course, in the beginning, the first few months, you're going to be really, really trying. You're going to be really excited. You're going to be really trying, hit it home. But that, honeymoon phase wears off, and the people that win are the people that last through the honeymoon phase, through the times when they're not in the mood anymore. The people that last are the people that don't feel like doing it, but they still force themselves to do it. So that's, another big takeaway. You honestly, is whatever you do in life, you have to have a certain amount of consistency, a certain amount of determination in order to succeed. Like nothing that's, worth it and that's good comes at a low price, right? You'll have to put in some work, and you'll have to put in some time, and you'll have to, be consistent. So it's gonna come a time where you don't feel like doing it, and that's when you have to force yourself to do it. Because if you think about it, most of us are actually smarter than we realize. I know I'm a genius. I know I'm a genius, but my brain is like, sometimes it just tricks me into doing things that I think is, gratifying now, or I think is like fulfilling now, but it's actually a short-term gratification. For example, what I usually do in the morning is I would talk to clients and business owners, and sometimes I just get burnt out really easy. Sometimes I'm not feeling it and I don't want to do it. So your mind will be usually telling you, oh, you don't want to do it. And usually I do intermittent fasting, meaning 1 o'clock. That's when I actually eat. 1 p.m. That's when I eat. So when I get stressed, I have a bad habit of stress eating, which is not good for me. I'm glad I have a fast metabolism, but when I grow up, that's not going to be something that's good. But yeah, so what my mind tries to do is, get big rushes of dopamine in order to just help ease depression, basically, or ease the stress. So that's something, that I'm aware of, and that's something that I fight. I push away from that. Like, I feel where I'm being pulled. This is something that my mentor told me. I feel where I'm being pulled, and I, push away from that. So that's also something to keep in mind. And, in terms of just forcing yourself to do it, you don't always have to do something, super big. You can start small, and that's actually what you need to do. There's going to be times where you're not feeling it anymore, and there's going to be times where you just want to, just sit down and just relax. And those are times where you have two options. You can sit down and relax, given that you've done a lot of work this week, given that, you feel like you've earned it. Or if you still have work to do and you have a huge why and you want to push it, but right now you're just not feeling it, and later on you're going to regret it, that's when you want to start taking those baby steps. Meaning, if you're scrolling on Instagram right now on the couch, but you should be going to write an essay, instead count down from 10 and put your phone down. That's the first step. So just take these baby steps. Like, what you need to commit to now is just putting your phone down. The next thing you want to do is get up and go sit at the table where you're writing your essay. The next thing you want to do is just start thinking about, what you need to write. And boom, now you started writing your essay again, which is what you wanted to do. It seemed like such a big thing, but when you break it down into smaller steps, that's when it's something that's achievable, something that's really accessible for you, especially in a time where you're really discouraged. So thank you guys for joining me in another video. I hope those were great tips in terms of refocusing your life. And if you're a business owner, getting you prepared for Q4 to make a lot of sales. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.